And this is Fox 10 Talks. We are the streaming show that takes you through 2 more hours of the very latest news that has been breaking over the last several hours, and just a lot of interesting takes for you on the stories everybody's going to be talking about as the day goes on. But you know, some of the latest images coming in after the reports of a massive earthquake are certainly raising all kinds of concerns this morning. One of the most powerful earthquakes this century struck off the coast of Russia and generated tsunami warnings up and down the United States West Coast. I mean, from Washington to Oregon to California, and of course, particularly concerned Alaska and Hawaii. But did you know that some of these tsunami warnings went as far south, believe it or not, as New Zealand? Now, as we go on the air here at 10:01, I can tell you that some of the warnings are finally starting to be lifted. These warnings went as far away, believe it or not, as Chile. They actually upgraded their tsunami warning to the highest level for their 4,000-mile coastline. And if you look at a map of the world, just in terms of how extensive the tsunami warnings have been, it's really pretty remarkable. So while we continue to just kind of follow all the latest developments, here's the very latest video. It was an 8.8. And it was centered off the Kamchatka Peninsula on the very far eastern edge of Russia. We spend so much time talking about the west of Russia, you know, where St. Petersburg is and where Moscow is, those kind of things. But this is many, many time zones away, frankly, not that far away from Alaska. But then the tsunamis, let me just quote for you the Tsunami Warning Center director in Alaska. His name is Dave Snyder. And he said, tsunamis can cross the ocean at hundreds of miles an hour as fast as a jet airplane in deep water. But when they get close to shore, then they start to slow down, he says. But that's also when they start to pile up. Desiree joins us well. Des, some of these pictures coming in, look at that. I mean, we knew we'd start to get some of these images. Yeah. And just take a look. Somebody, at least they were able to stand in their kitchen when this thing hit. But that really gave you an idea. I mean, it looks right there. I also thought this was really interesting. So this is off the Japanese coast, and you can see the waves coming in one right after another, and look at how much of a ghost town it appears to be. One thing about tsunamis, ever since we saw just the horrific tsunamis that hit in Japan many years ago, people take it really seriously. Mm-hmm. And so these are some of the aerial images of what it's been looking like there. But as we all remember, there was a 9.1 quake. Can't believe it's been more than 20 years ago in Indonesia. And 230,000 people were swept to their death. Mm. And then in 2011, in more recent times here, just 14 years ago, there was that big one in Japan where 20,000 people died and a nuclear meltdown. So they have certainly, I guess you could say, they have certainly learned their lesson in Japan, and they are taking it seriously. And we're just going to keep monitoring as the video comes in. This poor lady or guy who was just grabbing the video camera, I got to give him a lot of credit. Because, you know, most people, I think, have you ever been in an earthquake, by the way?
I have never been, and
Neither
I hope not to be. I don't know. That's just...
Right?
I don't know. Something about an earthquake just scares me.
Yeah, I think the natural inclination is to run out into the open, so you're, of course, worried that your ceiling's going to come crashing down on you. And
good for them for grabbing the camera. I think I would have forgotten all about it.
Yes, that's exactly right. So the whole state of Hawaii had been under a tsunami warning for a while, and most of those warnings have now been lifted. But hey, we had flights at Sky Harbor. Here you've got something going on in Russia at the Kamchatka Peninsula. It's impacting our West Coast states, but then we had 2 Southwest flights canceled, and an American Airlines flight canceled as well, and a couple of other American flights delayed.
And Hawaiian Air, too, is alerting passengers saying, hey, just make sure you check your flight before you come to the airport.
Right.
You don't want to be stranded, or if you have a big delay, better to be prepared for that.
And Phoenix has kind of become a gateway for flights to Hawaii. American... they're so busy with their hub at LAX that I think they made the decision many years ago. It's a big hub here as well. And so people from all over the country will hop an American flight into Phoenix and then fly on. And then, of course, Southwest has made a big push there. But once Alaska bought Hawaiian Airlines, then you've got those flights as well. So, unfortunately, there are going to be some people who may have lost out on their Hawaiian vacation, or I'm sure they're trying to reschedule now.
Better you're safe.
Yes.
Right? And
that's exactly
swept away
right.
in the ocean.
Okay, on to our other story this morning, which is a follow-up, and we've learned a lot more in the last 24 hours regarding just this stunning story, one of the worst mass shootings of the last 20 years in New York City. And last night, it was very interesting. They held a vigil for the victims of the shooting. 4 people, including a 36-year-old NYPD officer, Darul Islam, were killed in the attack. But Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, really spoke from the heart at this vigil. And who knew? But he had a direct connection to that building from many years ago. And here's what he had to say.
I worked as a mailroom and stockroom attendant in 345 Park Avenue as a young man. And to have to walk through and see the remnants of violence of that level tore at me.
So, we continue to learn more about it, and we're going to go straight to our Fox 5, Arthur Chien, who has been working there at Fox 5 for a while. He's a weekend anchor and 3-time Emmy Award-winning newscaster. Joining us now, I'm going to pull up his live shot right now. So, Arthur, give us a little of what the newest information is that you've been learning over these last several hours.
Well, Ron, Celeste, even though it's been almost 2 days into this mass shooting, the investigation is still moving very quickly, and there's still a lot of revelations. In particular, we're getting our first look inside the vehicle that the gunman drove, and also we're learning more about the prescription medications that police recovered from inside that vehicle. Let's get to some of those photos right now. If you have them and you're ready to pull them up, let me know. They are shots from inside the BMW that authorities say Shane Tamuro was driving and drove from Las Vegas to Midtown Manhattan here in New York City to allegedly carry out that mass shooting on Monday. Now, it shows a disheveled car with a carry case for an assault weapon that they say was the one that was used in Monday's mass shooting here. It also shows a cardboard box, and in it there are bags and bags of bullets, additional rounds of ammunition we can see in Ziploc bags, as well as what is either a clip or another weapon. The stark reality is that if he had gotten back to his car, he would have had even more firepower available to him. Let's go to the next set of photos, or the next photo, which shows a prescription bottle in the center console. As we push in there, it is uncapped. Usually those bottles will have a white cap on it, a child-proof cap, but that's not on there. And law enforcement sources here in New York tell us that at least 2 medications were retrieved from the car. Both are used to treat mental health conditions. There was a Zoloft generic, which is used to treat depression, panic disorder, amongst other illnesses, and also a Devalproex, which can be used to treat conditions that include bipolar disorder and epilepsy. Now, obviously, there are countless Americans struggling with mental health conditions who do not end up engaging in mass shootings. But as we discuss this, we also have the opportunity to take a look at the 2 weapons that Tamuro is alleged to have used. Also, our first look at some of these. There is an AR-15 style weapon that was his primary weapon. Authorities here have described it as a M4, which is a military version of it. And also the handgun, which authorities say the suspect used to kill himself by shooting himself in the chest. In all, the 27-year-old was found with multiple handwritten notes on his body here on Monday night, saying that he suffers from CTE, which you have been explaining well. And he blames it on the NFL, accusing the NFL of concealing the dangers of CTE for the purposes of profit of that organization. Now, Tamura shot in all 5 people. 4 of them have died. His victims include parents and well-respected New Yorkers. Their friends and family are reeling from this disastrous mass shooting here. And appearing on Good Day New York this morning was the chief of department of the NYPD. That's the highest-ranking uniformed officer, and he explains where this investigation is headed as of today.
Okay, excellent. Great reporting there. Arthur, what we're wondering is, one of the questions I had has to do more, I think, with the, as you've dug into his background a little bit, I guess I have first assumed maybe he had some playing time in the NFL, or at least was a star in college, but I don't think that was the case. He maybe played a little bit of, junior high or high school football. That was about it?
Right. He played high school football, we know, and you might know more from being out there, but his coach from high school has spoken on camera and spoke highly of him and was absolutely devastated to hear that his former player was involved in this way. Worth emphasizing that CTE is a byproduct of contact sports. So you don't have to play in the NFL. Certainly they run faster and they're bigger than your average person. But people in high school, and it's not just football, right? Soccer players through heading the ball. This is a problem not just for players of the NFL, but of course it came to prominence because players of the NFL, after they were retiring, were coming up with some very significant problems.
Okay, and just while we have you, was there any more enlightening news or information that came out of the letter that he did have on him?
We got to look at the letter. There are doctors' names on there. He says, "I'm sorry," appearing to apologize for what he was planning to do. We're getting other information today that we need to verify in terms of possible previous contact with the NFL. We're in the process of confirming that before we report any detail of it. But on those notes, Celeste, he did talk about. He did list a number of doctors. Now, if he has been diagnosed with it in the past, those are certainly things that the authorities are looking into right now. The NYPD has 2 teams in the state of Nevada right now advancing this investigation, and they'll want to know what he was diagnosed with when, and certainly they'll want to know more about the medications that we were learning about.
All right, there you go. That's our Arthur Chien reporting for us live from New York. Arthur, thank you very much. Okay, already time for a break, and here we go. This is the Mystery Cam. We're back in 2 minutes. Take a guess. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back. It is another FTT, Fox 10 Talks. A lot of people watching from around the world. And if you're new to the FTT family, we do want you to know that every morning at 10:15, we do a mystery cam. And I don't think I've ever seen this one before, Desiree. By the way, Celeste is off for a day.
Yep.
She'll be back tomorrow. Love having you come spend time with us. Des and I every day now, by the way, for you from 11:30 till noon as well. Let's look at some of these guesses, Des. Just looking at Sherry.
I like Charles' guess.
Let's see, Charles.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
in
just cut you off.
Tennessee?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Sherry is in North Carolina. Both of those are beautiful states that I could easily see either one of those being the one. How about Louis? He likes Illinois. And let's just see. Oh, look at Linda. She's like, the canyon is pronounced Aravaipa.
Yes.
What
Have you
was
ever
that
heard of
all
the
about?
canyon?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess it was on a list of, I'm forgetting now, short-term memory loss.
Okay.
Really nice places to visit here in Arizona. I
Oh,
forget
okay.
exactly what the story was. I was
Yeah.
with Ty.
Oh, okay.
And I looked at Ty and I go, have you ever heard of the canyon? He goes, no, I haven't. And I go, oh gosh, neither one of us. I'm like, we had to take a trip.
Well, you know, Linda,
so Ty
who, by the
wasn't there
way,
to
is
help me out.
also
Thank you,
guessing
Linda.
West Virginia. She lives out there in that Safford and Thatcher area, the beautiful Gila Valley. And she's one of our loyal Arizonans out there for sure. So thank you,
great.
Linda, for that. And by the way, I follow Linda on the gram. I need to start following more.
Oh, what does she post on the gram?
Oh,
What's
you
she
know,
got going on?
Every time she and her hubby take a little trip, I get a chance to get a little update on how things are going.
Oh, nice.
Did you happen to notice my post on Instagram today?
Yes, it's your son's 40th.
Can you I can still remember the night that Jordan was born. Oh, I should have called up a couple of those pictures.
Don't elephants have good memories, right?
Yeah.
All right, you have
Sure.
the memory of an elephant, I guess.
Oh, yeah, sometimes yes.
What you
Sometimes
can
no.
remember is just incredible.
Well, he was born on this night of July 30th, 40 years ago, and it was a massive monsoon storm. And Mesa Lutheran is a hospital, doesn't even exist anymore. It was up there on the north end of Country Club, but it was the top floor, and we just watched that lightning storm just storming all around us. And we're like, let's just get this baby out and move on.
Oh, I'm sure Renee was saying the same
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
No, I will say, of course, I remember all four of mine, the day they were born, the minute they were born, all
Right.
of it, right? What it
Sure.
felt like, what was going through my mind. But after that, already, I'm so sad that it all kind of becomes a blur. Like, I try to think back to when D3 was a newborn, and I'm like, how do you forget some of those
I know.
moments?
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, the day they are born,
Yeah.
you don't forget that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Happy birthday, Jordan.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Jordan. Can't believe you're 40 already, buddy. Okay, let's talk about what's going on up in northern Arizona. Here's the way it works in our newsroom. And again, this is the beauty of this streaming show. We have more time to get you the important information of the day.
Yeah.
And we can also just take a minute to let you know behind the scenes, here's how it all works, which is as soon as we get an update from Incident Command up in northern Arizona on this massive fire, this Dragon Bravo fire, the assignment desk, whoever's assigned that day to sit on the assignment desk, they have a kind of a podium where they can look out of the whole newsroom. If there's something important that came in, they let us know immediately. I mean, they're like shouting it out to the whole newsroom. And when the word came in this morning that the Dragon Bravo fire, which is really one of the toughest firefights we've had in Arizona in years, grew dramatically again in size from the overnight mapping that they do.
Well, it was devastating. I mean, when we spoke to them yesterday, from Monday into Tuesday, it had already grown, more than 10,000 acres?
I
they
think
were up
so.
past 80,000.
They were up past 80.
And now, again, in the overnight hours, more growth.
Yeah,
so it's
all right.
not great news.
So let's go right to Linda Jennings. There she is again. She did such a good...
Lisa.
Or
Hi,
Lisa. Lisa did such a good job for us yesterday covering it. Lisa, what's the new number and where are... where's the kind of the toughest part of this firefight right now?
As of last night, we're sitting at 94,000 acres. So that's a big jump from the day before. This is the largest single day increase we have seen. And most of that movement is still to the north. Our firefighters have been really successful at holding the western side of this fire. That's where the Kaibab Lodge is and most of our value is at risk, but is still continuing to grow with, as you mentioned, this incredibly dry, difficult weather we're having.
Okay, so you do the mapping, and you kind of walked our 11:30 audience through it yesterday. We're just showing some of the images. I mean, it is such a massive plume of smoke. Are the winds, give us a little more on the direction of the winds over the past 24 hours and just kind of what you're literally sensing right now about the winds.
It is very dry and windy. We've had a slight shift in wind direction. It's been pretty consistently pushing to the northeast. Yesterday, that wind shifted and it's pushing a little bit more east, which is good news for the folks at Kaibab Lodge because that's pushing it away from them. However, that wind is increasing and it's expected to increase throughout the day today and especially tomorrow. At the same time, they've taken all chance of precipitation out of our weather forecast here on the fire, and that is not good news.
No, right. That is devastating. And talk about, I guess, what happens today then? Right now, what are your crews doing? What is being done to continue this fight?
We have a whole team of really excellent fire managers, and every night they're reevaluating that plan, looking at the fire growth and determining where we can go put in these containment lines to slow the spread of this fire. We're working in really tough fuel conditions. These burning conditions are unprecedented, and so we're having to really go out ahead of this fire, see where we can put in those containment lines, and then come back each day and see how they've held. It is tough terrain, but we're working to kind of keep it to the east, turn it into an area where the fuels are a little bit more favorable for our firefighters.
And just to kind of wrap up, is Highway 67 holding? I mean, as far as the western edge goes, that's what you guys are using. I mean, the firefighters that are out there on the front lines, is it still holding?
Highway 67 is still holding. We had a lot of firefighters out there last night doing some fuel reduction treatments along that road to make sure that as the fire gets closer, that is holding, and we feel good about that as of today.
Okay, Lisa, by the way, are you speaking to us from, where are you actually located? Because I've been so impressed that the signal is holding as well as either you've got good Wi-Fi or somebody's still got good cell service out there.
Yeah, so our media camp is actually at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. We're here at the National Park Service because this is where it is accessible and this is where we can get that good view safely of the fire for media and to be able to provide information to the public.
Oh, that's great. All right, Lisa,
Great.
Thank you. Great,
Thanks, Lisa.
great reporting every day. Let's hope for calmer winds, Des, as the day goes on.
Some moisture, too. I mean,
Right?
that doesn't look hopeful.
I know. It looks like that's been completely removed from the forecast.
Mm-hmm.
There is a story about a couple who fell so in love with the North Rim specifically that they've been living up there since they're park workers, but they've lived there. They've made that their home for, I think, about the last 6 years. And so this particular family spoke to us about what it was like, honestly, to lose their home. And here's just a part of that.
So we jumped in the car and we just took off, and we could see behind us the whole park going up in smoke. Now at the stage where we're like, wow, we just have to pick up the pieces and build our lives again.
Okay, and so that is the voice of Beth Ryan. And yeah, they got to pick up the pieces, start their lives over. They've lost their home. And we have a link at fox10phoenix.com for their GoFundMe as they try to get back on their feet. There is a very interesting hearing that's going on today in Washington, D.C. They're finally really digging into what went wrong in that. Remember that midair collision earlier, right at the beginning of the year?
Mystery.
Oh, yeah. So you had a military helicopter crash into a plane that was in its final 30 seconds of approach to the Reagan airport. This is a clip we started to roll on this. This hearing started at 6 o'clock this morning. This is a clip of what got said and how they were interacting on the radio in those fateful minutes.
The local controller asked the crew of Flight 5342 if they could switch their approach from runway 1 to runway 33.
Pushing 5342, Washington Tower, 1 star 32017, gust 25. Can you take runway 33?
The crew accepted the change and they were cleared to land on runway 33. This magnified satellite photograph shows the locations of runway 1 and runway 33 at DCA. The local controller was operating on 2 channels. While all aircraft could hear the local controller, helicopter crews could only hear radio transmissions from other helicopters, and airplane crews could only hear transmissions from other airplanes. Only communications between the local controller and PAT 25 will be shown in text on the screen. The controller twice advised the crew of PAT 25 about the conflicting traffic on approach and circling to land for runway 33. Both times the crew of PAT 25 reported that they had the traffic in sight and requested to maintain visual separation. Flight 5342 is visible in the upper left corner as it approaches runway 33. PAT 25 appears from the left side of the screen, moving to the right as the 2 aircraft cross flight paths.
The video stops right there at the moment of impact. I actually flew into that airport about a month later, and I was on runway 33, and you can't help but think about the lives that were lost.
Yeah, and I mean, we've heard from time and time again how difficult it is to land and take off from
at that airport.
Airport.
Right.
So it's already a difficult task.
Yeah.
And then to learn during the minutes leading up to that collision that the helicopter pilots were talking about trying, how busy it was that night.
And we've all seen the video of after that moment of impact, which is where that stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But within about 3 seconds, that plane was all the way down in the waters of the Potomac. I mean, it's just chilling. All right, so we're going to take a break. We have a real treat for you. One of the top reporters from AP joins us in 2 minutes with the latest on the Epstein Files. And it looks to me, Des, like life on the farm is kind of laid back.
I was going to say, it looks pretty peaceful there this morning.
We get these live cams from all over the country. I have no idea where that is. But I just wonder if the people in those new houses know that here at Fox 10, we got a live cam where we can check out what's going on out on the farm.
Think they're used to the smells by now?
Hey, here's our poll question today. And we're going to check in with Dave on the Dave cam, but I thought I'd pop it up for you before we get to Eric Tucker with Associated Press. The new GDP numbers came out. They show the economy is growing again. Does Trump deserve credit? 67% of you are saying yes, because if it was going down, he'd be getting all the blame. 27% say no. Actually, I think if it weren't for his tariffs, it'd be doing a lot better. And 6% say the economy getting better, could have fooled me. If you grab that QR code right now, we'll watch these numbers move around and you can cast your vote and let us know. So the backstory here, Des, goes like this. Dave, our Big D as we call him, our executive producer, has reached out to...
How did he get that nickname?
Celeste just gave it to him one day.
Oh.
He has reached out to most of the top national reporters around the country to explain we've got
His
this streaming
Rolodex
service.
is
Yes.
pretty impressive.
And we got a yes from Eric Tucker, and I'm just delighted about that. Eric joins us right now. Let me just pull up the Zoom right here. Eric, I punch the buttons on this show, so every once in a while we might have a couple of technical difficulties. Tell us, just give us a little bit of your background. How long have you been reporting for AP and specifically on national security?
Sure. So I've been with AP for 20 years, and I've been covering my current beat for a decade.
Okay, that's great. Let's talk just a little bit about your reporting on the Epstein Files has been, I think, as extensive as any other reporter in the country. And I just want to ask you right off the top here, let me just read one of these headlines from the many reports. You can go to AP's website and you can read a lot of Eric's work, but here's a headline, and then you give us your take on this. Trump's one-time friendship with Epstein is well known and also documented in the records. And when you say it is well known, is that in Washington circles, Palm Beach circles, just sort of the kind of the political, inside the Beltway circles? What are you talking about there? And what did your reporting reveal in that report?
No, that's a very fair question. But if you actually listen to what President Trump himself has said, he has acknowledged that at one point in time, going back many years, he had a pretty close relationship. In 2019, during the course of the Epstein criminal case, video was unearthed that showed the two men dancing together and in a room together. And it's been known that they definitely had a friendship. If you look back at the initial document dump from February that the Justice Department put out, you can actually see Donald Trump's name in the flight logs as somebody who had accompanied Jeffrey Epstein on flights. And so we're aware of that connection. So it's not a mystery in that sense that the two men have had some sort of connection.
All right. And we have a House subcommittee voted today, in fact, to subpoena the Department of Justice for these files. I mean, do you think this is are they actually ever going to come out?
So it's a great question. It depends on sort of what exactly, what information people are expected to come out. One of the things that the Justice Department has committed to is trying to get unsealed the grand jury transcripts. That will be the testimony that took place in front of the grand jury that indicted Jeffrey Epstein and his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. But when it comes to the actual records themselves that are in the Justice Department's possession, they were pretty clear in a 2-page statement this month that they did not plan to release any of those additional documents, in part because they said some of the information contained child pornography and was not in the public's interest to see.
Mm-hmm. What about this argument that you keep hearing that if there really was some big dirt on the president, that one way or another would have come out by now?
That's certainly possible. One of the things that was startling and striking from the Justice Department's disclosure this month was that Epstein did not maintain a so-called client list. And if you listen to comments from FBI Director Kash Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino before they took their current positions, there have been lots of speculation about some sort of client list of men to whom Epstein trafficked women. Now the Justice Department is saying that list doesn't even exist. So it's unlikely that we would ever see any kind of documentation of some sort of specific list of gentlemen.
And when it comes to, I know, in fact, I think a lot of this might have been your reporting, but this kind of, let's call it a showdown between Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi. Can you kind of walk us through that? I had seen some reports that Bongino wasn't even showing up for work for several days. He was so angry about how it was all being handled.
Yeah, so if you rewind the clock just a couple weeks, the Justice Department comes out with this statement saying Epstein did kill himself. There is no client list, and we're not going to be releasing any more information. That virtually all of that information ran counter to what Bongino on his podcast had been telling his followers for many years prior to becoming FBI Deputy Director. So they have this meeting 2 days later at the White House where Bongino and Bondi exploded each other. And part of the concern is that there had been an article that had described and recounted some of the divisions between the FBI and the Justice Department. And Bondi wanted to understand how that article came to be, what the sourcing was. And Bongino actually did not show up to work that Friday. He was silent on social media. He subsequently did return to the job, and he's resumed his presence on social media. But it's not clear that their relationship can ever really be salvaged beyond that.
And can you just give folks to kind of the latest on what's happening with Ghislaine Maxwell? Obviously, we know she's having meetings with the Justice Department, her attorney. She has asked for immunity, but that has been shot down. So what's happening next with her?
Yeah, so we had a really interesting recent development just yesterday where Maxwell, and she, of course, was convicted of conspiring with Epstein in his sex crimes, and she's serving a 20-year prison sentence in Florida. So her lawyer yesterday told Congress, I'd initially been inclined to have her plead the Fifth and take the Fifth Amendment and not answer any of your questions, but we're actually looking to cooperate now. We're trying to find ways to do that, but you have to give her immunity. As you mentioned, the House Oversight Committee said that it was not interested in doing that, but this is a long game, so we'll have to see. Trump, meanwhile, has been asked about the notion of pardoning Maxwell. He said that such an action is within his right, but he hasn't been asked to do it. So we're really sort of trying to figure out what the end game is here. As you mentioned, also, the Justice Department's number 2 official, Todd Blanche, flew to Tallahassee, met with Ghislaine Maxwell in a courthouse, which is all very unusual. And they say that we will learn at a later date some of what she may have revealed.
I don't know about you, Des, but that was 7 good minutes packed with information.
That's a cliffhanger right
Yeah,
there.
really good info for sure. All right, Eric, hopefully we can check in with you again in the future. Thanks for all your input today.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Okay. Eric Tucker there with Associated Press, 20 years on the job.
Wow, that's impressive.
Let's go to our poll question this morning. It does have to do with the president. And the GDP numbers came out this morning, and they were really good, way better than I think people thought. Remember, 3 months earlier, they were going negative. All you need is 2 cycles in a row of negative growth, and it's a recession. But this morning they came out not 1.5% to 2%, but a full 3% growth in our overall economy. So what do you think? Does Trump deserve the credit or no? And now 80% of you say yep, because he'd get the blame if it was going the other way. 16% saying no. I still think the economy would be doing better if it weren't for those tariffs, and 4% really better.
Well, the first is a clear takeaway. Winning, crushing.
Yeah. By the way, let's jump over and see how it's looking on YouTube, Des. Already over 300 votes. Walk us through these numbers.
Wow, look at that. So, again, posing the same question here.
Yep.
But it's interesting to see the difference.
I know.
It
really is.
The results here. So we only have 44% of folks voting yes, because he was going to basically get the blame if things weren't going well.
Yep.
20% say no, it would be doing a lot better if it weren't for his tariffs. But and then 37% saying the economy getting better. You could have fooled me.
So
I'm surprised it doesn't have a lot more votes on the other platform.
Here's where the audience gets kind of jolly. If I could use that word, because Dave, on the Dave cam, he has his own following here. We go to him every day, and we get a little Bella bomb from Isabella. She's joining us live in about 4 more minutes. But Dave, what do you see him for reaction to this one today?
Yeah, really good comments, as always. Frank North 164 asks, the economy is getting better? Maybe for the wealthy, but a bag of groceries is still north of $50. And Hokey Pokey Pots says, economy may be growing for wealthy elites, but ordinary taxpayers are the ones footing the bill. And Charles David 5137 echoes it, saying, I'll feel better when it doesn't feel so rough going to the grocery store. So a lot of people are feeling it on both sides. Keep the comments going. Keep the comments up. We love hearing from you.
Hey,
okay,
Dave.
Good. I feel like those comments validate my feelings too.
Sure.
So, I think for most people, we're worried about ourselves, right? And not necessarily the totality. And when you talk GDP and all these big numbers, you start to lose a lot of people.
Right.
But I think it's, what matters most is your day-to-day living and how people are impacted.
Right.
And I mean, from those comments, doesn't sound like it's getting better.
I mean, it is nice seeing gas below $2.99 a gallon.
That has been a treat.
That,
okay,
right?
we can acknowledge
that. So that's
that.
a plus. But yeah, every time you go to the grocery store or even the drive-thru, I took my chances yesterday. I was hanging out with the grandkids, and I said,
Lord,
okay,
who
wants burgers and who wants McNuggets and all that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I did.
Where did you end up?
I used the app, and you can get 20% off if it's more than $15 on the app.
Yes, on the McDonald's app. Yes.
Right.
I will complain, though, because I'm on the app, too.
Yeah.
I had to get on the app. When McDonald's starts to cost too much, there's a problem.
I know.
So I now have the app as well. But they did have some better deals for a while, and those are kind of gone.
Yeah, you got to get that 20%. But here's what I did.
And the 5 off of 20
I
is
got
only
20
delivery.
McNuggets for $7.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty
that's
reasonable.
not bad.
And then I got the 3 cheeseburgers. I think those were each running about $2 something. Anyway, I got all 4 of the grandkids fed for $14.
Wow. Wow.
I couldn't wait to tell you this, Des.
We need another show how he does this.
Yeah, we limited the orders for the sodas. No sodas. We just got because that's like $3 per soda.
And I always feel guilty when we end up at a drive-through.
Yeah.
So I always go water. Like that's the least I can do.
Right.
If I'm feeding you.
Yeah. You're feeding the whole
food.
family. That'll save you $10 or $12 right there.
Hard, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Break time. We're back in 2 minutes with Des. Don't go away. Oh, and Isabella. right, everybody, welcome back. 10:45. There was one thing that we forgot to do earlier, and that was to reveal the answer of the
And how
mystery
dare we?
scam.
You guys were getting pretty
Yeah, you're like,
about this
come
in
on.
the comments.
We've given our
like
guesses.
They got sidetracked.
Yeah, we did.
Squirrel.
Oh, well, we had that great
Remember that?
reporter coming out of D.C. All right, Des, so let's see. I think I am going to go with a Tennessee. What about you?
I was going to go Tennessee.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's both do it.
Okay.
And here comes the answer.
All right, big reveal.
Right here.
Oh, my
What was it now? What do you
darn
got?
it.
What?
You never get it right. It's
Oh, it was North
Roxborough,
Carolina.
North Carolina.
Roxborough. Okay, so
Well, they all
yeah.
look so similar.
I know.
They're all plush and green.
Yeah, that's probably somewhere up in the
Got
beautiful
those beautiful rolling hills.
Appalachians.
Oh.
Hey, there was another story that we were going to talk about this morning, and it has to do with this alien cam. By the way, Isabella joins us. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
Hey.
And we're going to call this the Fabulous Four, because we're going to go back to Dave as well on this.
He's still in the house.
Have you guys ever seen anything? Do any of you have a ring cam or some sort of cam like that? Dave, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Anything funny or unusual ever show up on it?
You know, we had one of those things where everybody's talking about the missing minute with Epstein. We had one where somebody came up and dropped off a package.
Yeah.
And then it skipped. And then the package was gone. The person was gone. And we went outside and there was no package. So
Really?
we were mystified.
Okay, and you've gone back and you're like, I thought I ordered a my new shampoo and it never showed up.
Or did you have a
what?
really fast-moving porch pirate?
Oh, wow.
So
Crazy.
fast they vanish.
Isabella, have either of you ladies ever had a situation like that? How about you?
Yes. So back again when I was down in Tucson, my Ring camera captured a huge pack of about 8 javelinas digging into the garbage right in front of our porch.
All right.
So it was scary.
Yeah. Right.
It
You
gives me
stayed
the
in the house.
heebie-jeebies. I stayed in the house. It was overnight, but
Okay.
I opened the door to go to work, and then there was just trash everywhere. It looked like a bomb
yeah, they
exploded
love-
in front of my door.
And you would have
Love the
never known,
trash.
but you were able to go back and
I
look.
looked at the Ring camera, and again, 8 of these javelinas were just
Yeah.
having a feast.
Wow.
How about
Yeah.
you, Des?
I got nothing.
No? Okay. Do you have a cam?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the,
That's nice, though, if nothing
Yeah.
comes up.
Yeah, I'm the odd man. I don't
Do
even
you?
have a cam, huh?
You don't have one?
No.
Oh.
But I do like when you get a package delivered. Man, whether it's Walmart or Amazon, they let you know within like 30 seconds it just got dropped off at your door.
Yeah, no, Amazon
right?
is pretty quick with
Yeah,
it. My
yeah.
parents are tracking a raccoon or something in their yard. You can ask them their video.
Hey, by the way, now here's why we are talking about it. Here, I'm going to punch this VO up. Look closely and see if you see an alien here, or if you just.
Oh, I don't like that.
Does this give you the heebie-jeebies there, Isabella? What's happening? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Here's the story. Compton. And the Ring cam seems to catch what appears to be a sort of a ghostly image. You could maybe even say looking a little bit like an alien. The homeowner is convinced it was an extraterrestrial. And the video has been viewed more than 1 million times after they posted it. A lot of people have various theories saying one person thought it was just somebody walking by in a hoodie. Somebody else said, no, it was probably somebody in a cowboy hat. But it looks small. It
Cowboy
does.
hat.
It reminds me of that old Spielberg movie, E.T. Phone Home. Am I way off base about that?
I don't know. I don't think so. And then I saw online some people are like, "Oh, this was staged. It was fake."
Yeah.
But I mean, who would have staged it? Like the homeowner seemed genuinely surprised.
But if it was staged, doesn't it appears kind of almost ghostly like, right? Almost transparent?
Well, and then here's my thing. I'm like, okay, if it was a person in a costume, how would they get that small? I mean, look at the tire. See the vehicle right there?
That looks
it's
like it's
not much
a little
bigger than
child.
a tire.
Okay, so it's bigger than a child,
But would a
not as
child
big
be
as
out
an
at
adult.
night, like in this alien
It
costume?
also could be edited to be fake just to generate, attention online.
That's true too.
You know what? We're a skeptical bunch around here.
I don't believe it's an alien, though.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
You said it was in Compton?
Yes. I mean, is that where the aliens would land? Would they go to L.A.
No, they
first?
would not.
Wouldn't they? If aliens landed, where would they go? Isabella.
Not Compton.
Okay.
I don't know where they'd go, but I don't think they'd
we
go
had
there.
the
What do they like
Phoenix.
to eat? I don't know.
We had the. What do they like to eat? Yeah. Well, we did have the Phoenix Lights here 30 years ago. Still
Yes,
unexplained.
Still,
I
and
think
there are some believers that hold
swear by
true
it.
to thinking
Correct.
that was some sort of,
I know.
invasion of the sorts.
Yeah. Well, I hope Dave gets his package back. Only problem is he doesn't even know what's missing.
He's probably
right, Dave?
It'll be okay.
Okay. Big D with the reassuring words. All right, so there's a new poll out. Let me try this, you guys. We have created a new segment. I don't know. It's still in its infancy, but we call it, ready,
trying
ladies?
new
We
things
call
here.
it Ask AI.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you. And the question today is, there is a new study out that reveals how most of us are using AI.
Okay.
4 in 10, and thank you to Rachel, our intern, who did some digging on this. 4 in 10 Americans use it for work. 6 in 10 use it just generally for ideas. Hey, I'm looking for maybe a new place to go shopping or to buy something
Okay,
or to
that's
go out
fair.
and eat.
They're good for
something like that.
recipes.
Yeah.
All kinds of different ideas. And Courtney Thayer in Iowa uses it for meal prep. Do we know who
Yeah,
Courtney
we just
is?
said recipes. That's a good
Okay.
idea. Yeah.
Is Courtney like an influencer? Does anybody? I don't know.
I have no
Courtney.
idea. I have a lot of friends though who, when they don't know what they want for dinner, they just put into ChatGPT, what should I make for dinner?
That is smart.
And
you
then
know
you
what? I
put
need
your,
to chat
like-
GPT different ideas for kids' lunches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, those school lunches just
Okay, so let's do this.
they
We're gonna
tough.
we're gonna change a little bit about what our plan was.
Yeah.
Des, why don't you ask? Are you gonna go to Siri or what on Ask
just ask
AI? Did you know that's the name of this
Can
segment?
I do that? Honestly, I don't even know how to use ChatGPT.
Okay,
Is it a
so
website?
Siri.
I can even ask it for you. I have the ChatGPT app, and
Okay.
she can read
See,
it back
I guess
to
I
me.
need to get on board.
Okay, so how about both you guys ask? You can do ChatGPT, you can do Siri for some different and unique and unusual
Okay.
lunch ideas for the
All right,
kids.
let's see what she says.
Okay, let's
Hey
see what-
Siri,
Mhm.
give me ideas for unique kids' school lunches.
Okay. And then you can do the same thing.
Hey Siri, give me ideas for unique school lunches.
And unusual.
And unusual.
Yeah, you got to include that
She
part
hit me
about-
back with the
Okay,
write
this
that
is
you'll
gonna
need
be-
to enable ChatGPT. Girl.
What? Seriously?
I guess I got to get on board. Oh, look at that. So I did get a new phone too recently,
Yeah.
but I have to go through like all the prompts to set it
gosh.
up.
Okay. Well, Isabella is all over
It's
the
loading.
AI
It's generating
world.
right
It's
now.
loading. Is
Okay,
she gonna
but I will
speak?
say, aren't
Yeah.
we all using it? Because if you notice, when
Yeah.
you go onto Google and you Google anything,
Yeah.
I'm getting the AI response
The
first.
Gemini, they have
But
their
then I'm
version
seeing
of Gemini,
it looks like,
right?
yeah, you can take it off AI mode, maybe if you would like.
So here is the story I shared, Des, just the other day. So we were on a little vacay, and we're walking through, what town was that? Oslo, Norway. And the lady that was doing
no
the
big deal.
walking tour,
in Norway.
I'm like, what was that building? Mm-hmm. What was that building? So I just asked ChatGPT.
So what did you do? Hold the camera up so it
no,
could see
I
the
just
building?
I said, tell me about. I think it's called the Bourse or the Borsen.
Oh, okay. So
I
the
saw
building
the
had a
name,
name.
and it was a cool. And so I just, I mean, she was walking 5 blocks, not talking to anybody.
Oh.
ChatGPT gave me the answers to the walking tour that I wasn't getting.
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
That's kind of not good. They need to update that tour.
I have the answers if you guys want them.
Oh, yeah. What
Okay,
did
ready?
it say?
Here we go. Big D, I think we did do that. It was Roxborough, North Carolina. Yeah. Okay. Here she comes, everybody. Go.
And
Go
some
for it.
creative twists you could try yourself. These are the ones that make you say, wait, they eat that for lunch. International and unusual lunches. 1, Japan, bento boxes with octopus-shaped hot dogs. Kids in Japan often get neatly packed bento boxes with rice, veggies, and sometimes sausages cut to look like tiny octopuses.
See, that's interesting,
2,
but that's
South
not what I
Korea,
was looking
kimchi,
for.
seaweed soup, and anchovies. A typical lunch includes rice.
I've had that for lunch before.
We'll be
and stir-fried
eating
anchovies
lunch that
with
day.
Soup with anchovies.
3,
I
Finland,
love it.
Pea soup and pancakes.
Okay.
Yes, green pea soup with ham served alongside sweet pancakes with jam. A strange but beloved combo. 4, Brazil, rice, beans, and farofa, toasted cassava flour. Kids in Brazil often eat meat with rice and beans, but farofa, a crumbly flour topping, gives it a unique texture. 5.
So this can go on for a while.
Interesting.
but-
Wow,
Yeah.
she's going around the whole globe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
she
think my
is.
son, unfortunately, will eat any of that, though. The kid picks off pepperoni on his pizza.
Oh.
He's not eating a seaweed soup.
Yeah, I got 3 plain burgers yesterday at McDonald's, and Riley, who's let's see, he's 7 years old.
What did
All
he
of
do?
it. He said, "No, I think I do want to try ketchup." And I'm like,
Oh.
"Okay, here's some ketchup." Then he
Adventurous.
said, because most kids they just want it plain, plain, plain.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Okay, maybe I'll try some onions." And I'm like,
Wow.
"You are
Oh.
living on the
Oh,
edge."
with
Oh my
onions. That's
God.
stepping
Right?
into a new dimension.
Yeah. But anyway, Des, we hope
These
we've
kids.
helped you with today's segment of Ask AI.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think that
I
helped
don't
her.
think it was helpful, but it was interesting.
I'm still trying to get a professional announcer. But of all of those, I think the one from Brazil actually sounded maybe the most
Rice
interesting,
and meat,
right?
you'd think, but he won't touch rice either.
Yeah, okay. We have so many stories to get to that we don't have time, but maybe, Des, when you come back at 11:30.
Yes, we're back at 11:30.
We have got to talk about these $100 pancakes at IHOP.
Oh,
boy.
Okay. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I won't be going to IHOP.
Is it really happening? So let's look around for Ty and Anita. This is where we are like 1 minute away from their show. And so, oh, look at this. Okay, this is going to be great. Let me take the wide shot.
Here he comes.
Okay, here comes. Today it's Ty. Ty, come on in. We're live.
Hey.
You got 40 seconds to tease the
Hey.
big 11 a.m. hour. What do you
my
got?
Gosh. All right. So we know that we love Durant's, the very famous restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where's my camera? Is it
That's
all?
you. Yeah. Right.
So we're going to talk about, they're redoing it. So we're going to actually talk to some
And
of the
they're
new
hiring,
owners.
Right?
I
They're
don't
hiring
know.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Oh.
You're going to talk
Ask
to the
them
new
about it.
owners?
The new owners
about
of
the
Durant's.
game plan?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
Because a lot of people were very worried because, it's been such a long time restaurant here in the Valley that people
Right.
didn't want them to change it up too much. So we'll
Right.
get those answers straight from the horse's mouth about
Right.
what they plan on doing. What else do we have?
Okay.
Where's my rundown?
Here we go.
Plus more on the tsunamis.
Yes.
Yeah.
We found one flight that went almost 8 hours basically to nowhere because they had to turn around because of the tsunami in Honolulu.
With like Japan in sight or Hawaii in sight.
Hawaii in sight,
Oh,
and
no.
So those
boy.
stories and much more coming up in our 7 o'clock hour.
11.
11.
Bye.
All right.
All right, it is 11 o'clock. Welcome on in.
Hi.
Are you being silent over there?
I know.
No,
what was that?
I'm
What
just
happened there?
whispering.
Can I share a story?
Sure,
This morning, Ty
took over at 7 a.m. and he said, "Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 7 a.m. hour. It's 7 o'clock." And I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. So I wanted to say good morning and welcome to Fox 10 Talks at 11. It's 11 o'clock.
Okay, well, going
it was
back,
adorable. It
there's
was just
a blooper that I watch quite often. Remember Ann Curry on the Today Show? She said, "Good morning, everyone." In the news this morning, good morning.
Oh.
And it's a funny blooper.
It just
And
happened.
It does happen.
It does
This
happen
morning,
because sometimes you're just...
my brain was not fully functional at 7 a.m., so I just wanted to let everybody know that it was 7 a.m. twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that check-in.
You do need that
early,
check-in,
like,
for
we have to
sure.
remind
Get on
ourselves.
schedule.
So it's 11 o'clock.
There is a lot of news to get to, and that's why we wanted to bring in Krystal, because that tsunami yesterday, that warning kind of came out late in the afternoon for us here in Arizona about that massive 8.8 earthquake that happened on the east coast of Russia.
And this is one of the biggest we've had in many, many years.
And people are saying that this could potentially be one for the record books, 8.8 on the Richter scale. So this is just some of the damage, because obviously soon after this happened, they were very concerned about the possibility of a tsunami. And so, Krystal, we thought we'd bring you in to kind of talk about exactly what is a tsunami, because I was listening to a podcast this morning, which I thought was really interesting. They say in the movies, whenever you hear the word tsunami, you think of a massive, 10-story massive wave that's moving in. They said, that's not the case, right?
No, and for full transparency, I wouldn't consider myself like a tsunami expert or anything, but I do know, some of the basics of it. And so tsunamis are different than like what you're picturing, some massive wave or something like that, because out
like the
to
movie
sea,
on Poseidon or something,
where
those
you're thinking
rogue
like
waves.
all the boats in the ocean are like whoosh and everything. No, like out to sea, they have a very large, a long wavelength, which means that it's just like a massive bump, but like massive in how long it is, not in height yet. So it's picture it like this. So maybe it's only a few feet tall, but then as it gets to land, it gets compressed, and that's when the wavelength gets shorter, the height gets taller.
Well, that's what our producer Jessica Roos was saying, that she had read if you're out on sea, you're actually safer.
Yeah, so there's tons of video coming out of different ports where as soon as they got the warnings and advisories, people took their boats out to sea. Because you want to be in really deep water where that wave is very, short in height. It's, again, long wavelength. There's a lot of energy underneath the ocean. It's also really deep into the ocean. Like the whole column has the energy from whatever created it, which in this situation was obviously the earthquake. So that's why it's got a lot of force when it hits land, but you wouldn't expect it when you see it out deep to sea.
Now, do you have your maps up that we can kind of take a look at some of the areas that you were talking about? So this is where the earthquake happened, correct? Right off the coast.
So the really big circle off the coast of Russia there is like the main, the 8.8 earthquake, and then all the other little dots over the last 24 hours are different aftershocks that have happened in the area.
Wow. And some of those aftershocks have been upwards of like 6.9,
right? Which we would sometimes still talk about, without the 8.8.
Sure.
So there's Hawaii still under advisories that you can see in orange, but downgraded from warnings earlier. And then there is the West Coast, and notice there's only a few spots now that you see dotted with the orange. So a lot of areas it looks like have dropped their advisories at this point. I did want to zoom into that little area in Crescent City because I haven't seen a ton of reports yet of actual data of the wave heights rising, but I have seen some from Crescent City where they said there was a 3-foot difference. And again, I know 3 foot doesn't sound like much, but this isn't like just a 3-foot top of the ocean wave. It's like the whole column of water had a lot of force to it, and it was 3 foot higher than normal. So I haven't seen any damage reports in the area, but that is one of the few spots where I've seen that they did feel some effect from tsunami waves, yes.
And we should mention, too, that we're not getting any reports of major damage here in the United States or injuries, which is good. And I think Hawaii, I was watching some person on TikTok that was kind of up basically all night talking about kind of their preparations, but there was kind of gridlock. We showed that video earlier of
people
the
gridlock
within Honolulu trying to get out. What are we looking at now, Krystal?
So this is what I was just talking about.
Okay.
I just wanted to show it off to you guys. So the fault line that's right outside of Russia is likely what triggered the earthquake. And then that is what then triggered that vertical push of water up. And you can see how it's real short out in open ocean. And then notice how on this graphic it looks a lot taller as it starts to hit coastal line because of the fact that shallow water is forcing it up in height. But again, from the seabed upward there is that strength or the impact. So that's why they can be much more potent than, say, a normal 2-foot wave
Great
might
explainer there.
Yeah, that's a really great graphic. All those warnings that we're seeing, you said some of them they've dropped, something like that one little area you were talking about. The warning. How do they determine when they're changing the type of warning, or
I think it was once they started getting buoy data and could see like how high they were, because basically a warning is when there's like concern for serious issues. An advisory is it's still probably going to happen, but maybe not as impactful. And then watches it may happen, but we're not sure in this scenario. So I think that's why they started dropping down to advisories, is when they started seeing some of the actual effects of the waves that were moving through. And the interesting thing is the period or the time between waves is a little different than what you would maybe typically expect with waves like that you hear from a hurricane or something. It can take a while for each round to roll through, but each round can still be fairly violent. Like the first one isn't necessarily the worst one. So I think that's why they waited quite some time to start dropping them.
Well, was it in 2018? Did we have that really terrifying, deadly tsunami? I'm looking it up.
In Thailand, in Southeast Asia,
is that the one?
It was a 2018? I thought it was earlier.
The Thailand one was in 2004.
Okay,
that was the big one.
That was. I mean, there were a lot of celebrities out there as well. But the images of the water coming up onto the beach and into town, that's terrifying. It's very terrifying.
Yeah. I wanted to show this too because, I mean, just because it didn't cause any major damage and issues, the good thing, it is causing some issues with air travel today.
Gosh,
so I wanted to show you this. I found this one flight. Now, this was United Airlines Flight 300, fully loaded, left San Francisco. Now, look how close it got to Honolulu over the Pacific before they got the notice that the airport was basically essentially closed because of the tsunami, and they didn't want to obviously put anybody in jeopardy. They don't know what's going to happen to the airport, so they had to turn around. But look at that. They were probably, maybe just another 2.5 hours from landing there.
You know aviation probably the best out of all of us. How do they refuel? Do they need to refuel at that point?
They always carry enough
to go back?
Fuel in order to go back.
Because there's nowhere else that they can
nowhere
stop.
else to go. No.
It's not like they can say we're just going to fly to, like the next stop.
And so I looked at quite a few different flights, and a lot of them had just left, and maybe they were an hour or two into the flight, and they had to turn around. But this one, they were almost there. And can you imagine? They're probably on the plane for
so
what?
Frustrating.
8 hours maybe?
Is it that long?
Well, it's a 5-hour flight, but if they were almost there, and then they had to turn all the way around.
Well, and there were delays here and some cancellations
there
this
were
morning
some
in Sky
cancellations
Harbor
as well.
because they were already anticipating what was happening. But in this case, you have to be safe.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah. So I just thought that was pretty crazy. Those poor people on that flight thinking they're going to go on a nice Honolulu
Think about that
vacation.
announcement they got. They're like almost there. They're sipping a drink.
A Mai
They're
Tai.
excited. That announcement comes on like, oh.
No, honey, you going home.
So hopefully they're able to fly back out. And thankfully, as you mentioned, Krystal, not a lot of damage. So thanks for coming in, Krystal. We appreciate you giving us a little update on this.
Well, then we'll see you tomorrow. Why not?
All right.
I don't know
what
we're going to talk about. 113 is around the corner.
It's going to be hot.
No natural disasters, but maybe some heat for us.
I love that.
Yeah. A lot of people on here might say 113 is a disaster. But we'll see.
It might be, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Krystal.
All right, I want to show you this video. Now, if you've lived in the Valley long enough, you probably recognize that iconic red awning we are talking about. Durant's here this morning, right on Central.
When you and I first started working weekends together, you did a little segment called Tie Pad.
Yes.
And I remember going out with you on a Sunday because you needed a little help. And I went out there and shot either stand-ups or interviews for you
At
on your Tie
Durant's.
Pad.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had ever stepped foot. And I really, truly felt like I was stepping back in history.
And that's why I think everybody loved it, because there is so much nostalgia. But it has undergone a little bit of a revamp. It's undergoing, I should say, a little bit of a revamp. So joining us here this morning via Skype, we have Jeff and Oliver. Good morning, you two. Thank you so much for taking the time. You two are the new owners of Durant's. Give us a little kind of insight into why you guys decided to take over Durant's, and what can people kind of, I guess, expect once you guys reopen the doors.
Yeah, hi, great to be with you guys. I'm Jeff Mastro. We've lived in the Valley, almost forever, and we're Steakhouse guys, and we've always loved Durant's. It's been around 75 years, and this opportunity happened, and we took them up on it. They wanted it to go to somebody who knew what they were doing and has some good experience and local, and we decided to acquire it. We're doing a little refresh, and then we're going to get us, we're hiring, as you can see, and we're going to do a few weeks of that. We're going to do about 7 weeks of training, and then early December, we're going to reopen.
So you mentioned.
I have to tell you that they could not have picked, in my opinion, a better group or a better family. I've been working for Mike and Jeff Mastro now for about 34 years, and I can tell you that they have such a respect and a love for the Durant's brand, and to be able to steward that for the next 75 years is exactly what they're going to do, and just happy to be a small part of it. It's really exciting.
The Mastro name is known and beloved here in the Valley, so congratulations, and I'm personally thrilled to see it going to someone here in the Valley. I think you always wonder and worry about that, right? But I have a silly question for you, because I'm really curious as to how the deal went down, as much as you can tell me. So, for example, my husband and I love to look at houses, and we have been in the past knocked on the door or left a note saying, hey, we really love this house. If it ever comes up for sale, let us know. I'm wondering if you kind of, kept in touch with the owners of Durant's and just watched and said, hey, one of these days we would love to take, or if it maybe it was the opposite where they said, hey, we know you're a steak guy. We know you know your business. Do you want to take over?
Yeah, we've known them for a while. The Jack McAvey family and the prior owners, and we've stayed in touch with them before COVID. Then COVID happened, and then the timing, just recently became perfect for them. And we took them up on the opportunity. So both parties were very excited.
Awesome.
Mr. Mastro, we are getting a lot of comments in our comment section saying, quote unquote, please don't change. I mean, the inside of Durant's is so iconic, kind of with that kind of the dark mood in there and the red. Now, when you guys reopen the doors, is it going to look the same? Like the people that love Mastro?
Very, very similar. We're just refreshing it, and just, it's a very old building, so we have to do a few things. But it's going to be very, very similar. It's going to keep all its nostalgia. It's going to be like it was.
Awesome. We have Lil Philosophy in the chat asking, and I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, saying that the place used to be back in the day frequented by mob members, which is kind of, I don't know, exciting, a little exciting there.
Yeah, we've certainly heard the stories as well. I don't know how much of that is true, but I do know that it has been frequented and beloved by so many, Phoenicians and folks in Arizona, both living and visiting for years. That it's become really a legendary brand that we're excited to be a part of.
It's so neat.
Now, we've got about 20 seconds left, 15 seconds now. If you guys can hold on, we got a 2-minute break, and then we'll come back. I've got a couple more questions before we can wrap things up, if that's all right, if you just hang with us for 2 minutes.
Perfect.
All right. We appreciate it. We'll be right back in 2 minutes, you guys, with much more.
Welcome back in. We are chatting about the very exciting and anticipated reopening of Durant's Steakhouse. Gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You mentioned you are currently interviewing and hiring. How many positions are open? How many positions would you like to fill? How can people apply?
Yeah, you can apply by going down. We have a space right next to the Durant's building, and on Central, and we're hiring about 180 people for all positions. Kitchen and front of the house. We've already hired. It's been a great turnout so far. We've had 3 days of hiring. We've already hired about 65 people, so it's going terrific. But you can come on down. We're going to be hiring for a few more weeks.
And then could you have an estimation of when you guys will be reopening the doors?
Right now, our date will be open on December 10.
Oh, right around the corner.
And also, can you make sure that Ty and I have a reservation, please?
Yeah, with the two dirty martinis, please.
2 dirty martinis
You guys
at the bar. And
Durant knows how to. Durant
know.
knows how to shake a martini. That's for sure.
That's not going to change, is
Indeed.
it?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to
amazing.
us. We really do appreciate it, and I'm sure we're going to be talking to you a
Thank you
lot
both very
as you
much.
guys
Have a
get
great
closer
day.
to the
Yeah,
reopening. Thank you,
congrats.
guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
How cool!
It
That
is
is a cool
exciting.
place.
Yeah, it is moody and sexy, and it is fun,
And it's just one of those places. If you've lived here in the Valley, you've heard about Durant's. It's kind of like one of those places you just have to go
You have to
visit
go.
once you're there.
I can't wait to go.
I know.
I cannot wait to go back.
Josh, you want to come on over?
Come on over, Josh.
People
Where
were talking about my socks,
do you
asking
have?
what's on them. They are sharks.
Don't rip your pants.
No, they're sharks swimming in the water.
How do you decide the length of the sock?
Well, they're all about the same. I don't want to show too much leg.
No, sometimes you wear like an
Easy does it, Josh.
ratings. It's a ratings bonanza. Well, sometimes your sock is a little shorter. It's an ankle sock.
Look at her.
I mean, she knows. She pays attention.
Yeah, she does.
The work wife has to know.
You gotta know.
You were saying what about State Fair socks?
Oh, so
Not State Fair, the state capitol.
So speaking of cool
Nice and close for
socks,
us.
yeah. Speaking of cool socks,
Okay.
at the State Capitol Museum at the State Capitol of Arizona, they have 5 C's socks.
Can you name all 5 C's for Arizona?
Cactus.
Is that one? No. Try again. What's another
Well,
C?
obviously I got to on the first one. I'm not playing this game.
Oh. Copper, cattle, cotton, calligraphy.
The last 2, you were real close, are citrus.
Citrus.
And
Oh.
our favorite one, climate.
Well, it depends on the day, Josh.
I mean,
let's be honest.
I mean, there's the climate is beautiful at some place in Arizona every day.
That
This is a gift shop?
Yeah, this is a gift shop.
I'm
The
gonna
State
call
Capitol
them right
Museum
now.
has a gift shop in which they sell a lot of cool Arizona themed stuff, as you would imagine. And one of the things I found in there one day when I just happened to be in there was 5 C socks.
All right.
So Ty can show those off.
Well, Josh, we
going
brought
in
you
right
in because today is National Hike a Mountain Day, or Climb a Mountain, or Scale a Mountain.
Probably not
Go
scale.
to a mountain.
Go take a hike day?
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Let me look. We booked you like a month out.
It's something to do with going on a mountain.
Something.
But we have so many.
You know what else we have in Arizona?
What?
Mountains.
Hey, I love that you say that because many people miss that part of Arizona.
National
That's
Take
true.
a Hike Day.
There you go.
We were
You got
close.
it.
We were on the right
That's
track.
November 17th.
Well, there's something
Maybe
today.
it's just climb a mountain day.
I think you're
That's
right.
all right.
All right. But let's talk about some of these incredible places that we can actually go.
There you go.
National Climb a Mountain Day.
All right, we got it. We got it.
We were
finally
worried.
landed the plane,
We were
Josh.
worried.
All right, where's the first one we're talking about?
So the first one that I wanted to share, right here, we're looking at Humphreys Peak, which is AKA the tallest point in Arizona.
Wow.
So if you actually make it up to that spot, then you will be at the closest point to the sun in Arizona, and you will be the tallest thing in Arizona while you're there.
Wow.
Now, Humphreys Peak is located near Flagstaff in the San Francisco Peaks area, and this one is super awesome because it's actually a very strenuous hike. If you want to take this hike on, it's about 9.5 miles to Humphreys Peak and back. One of the cool things, like mini hikes in Arizona, is that you get to go through many different types of terrain when you do this hike. So, it's kind of got pine trees, it's got rocks, and if and when you get to the top, you get a very rewarding view on a clear day of the surrounding area. You can see to the Grand Canyon from there.
Really?
You can see even to the Painted Desert in the eastern part of the state. So it is literally like the farthest view you can possibly have, again, on a clear day, because it is the highest point in Arizona.
Josh, you mentioned 9.5 miles.
Yeah.
Put that into perspective. How many hours does that usually take people?
So actually, that's a great question, and it really depends on your kind of level of fitness. So it can range from, like, if you're pretty quick, a 5-hour hike, to maybe more closer to like 9 hours if you're taking it slow. So that one, definitely you got to prep for that one.
Yeah. Are there?
go ahead.
Are there a lot of people on the trail with you? Because sometimes when
I
you're
get
hiking,
a little nervous.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
I don't
like,
want
if something
I don't want a
happens-
lot of people out there
Right.
with me, but I would like to pass someone like once an hour.
just to
So
know
it's
that
like,
you're not
hey,
alone.
I'm
like
going
there's
the right
another
way.
person out there.
Yeah.
Is it well marked?
So I would say this one is well marked. It's a popular trail, and I would say that there's not a lot of people on it, but there are some people. And also the other thing is that you don't have to necessarily do the entire trail. You can do part of it and come back.
Is it like a loop then? You're going up and you go back down. Okay.
But you got to get those pictures, the iconic picture at the top with the sign, right?
You will have done quite an accomplishment if you do this.
Yeah. All right, what's the next one?
So another one.
I think we've kind of just got this on a loop.
we have a mix of a bunch of different
beautiful.
pictures.
Wow.
So this one, I believe we're looking at Sabino Canyon in Tucson.
Oh, cool.
Which is a spectacular one. That one's actually Sedona, but talking about
Also
Sabino,
spectacular.
talking about Sabino Canyon in Tucson. This one's actually a very popular area to hike. It's right at the base of the Santa Catalina Mountains, of course, which are north of Tucson. And this one's well known because it has about 30 miles of hiking trails in it. So there's a lot of different options. Now, again, it's not one 30-mile hike. It's a lot of different choices. And what I love about this one and about hiking in Tucson in general is that it starts off with kind of the desert, the lush Sonoran desert. So you get the bushes, you get the saguaro cactuses, but then as you go up the mountain a little bit, it changes kind of into more of a mountainous area. So you get, that's definitely the Tucson there. And that's with a storm right there.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Those people might want to turn around because that looks like a monsoon storm. But that's actually a very interesting point about Sabino Canyon is that Sabino Canyon also has Sabino Creek in it. And that is, of course, a seasonal creek. So that means that it only runs pretty much at the end of the winter into the spring when the snow on Mount Lemmon is melting. And if there's a great monsoon storm running over the Santa Catalina Mountains, that creek will also run at that time as well.
So the Hieroglyphic Trail, which is towards Apache Junction.
Right, yes.
Similar, right? So they have, and one of these days I'll pull up some photos and post them. You've done that one?
Yes, I know that
I keep
area.
telling Ty he needs to go. We went in January on a mild day, and there must have been a ton of snow melt because it was just this most.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it, and there were just all these pools of cold, fresh water.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were taking our shoes off and like walking around in it, but then it also kind of turns into a waterfall.
Yeah.
It was, and I mean, less than an hour from the downtown Phoenix area. It was incredible.
Yeah. People, I think, don't realize that about the Sonoran Desert in general and the impact that monsoon storms have on the desert environment. And I think when you're out hiking anywhere and you just have an unexpected, beautiful creek or water, you want to splash it on your face, and it really just gives you an awesome, refreshing moment.
You also showed some of those beautiful pictures of the wildflowers. And I know last year we didn't really have that great wildflower bloom just because it was so freaking hot. So hopefully this spring we might see it.
Hopefully.
It just
hopefully
depends,
we will.
right?
It always just depends really on the rainfall. And it's kind of, rainfall during the winter, which is not really our high water season.
Sure.
It's more during the summer. But that rainfall certainly impacts that. The picture that I had that had another one that had wildflowers in it was actually from near Prescott, which was the Granite Mountain Trail.
I really want to do that one.
That one's a pretty popular one to do. It's about 7.5 miles. So again, it's a longer one, but if you plan for it, you can do it well. Again, you get varied terrain as you go. Some of it's covered. You're going through the trees, so you get some shade. And the cool thing about this one is it doesn't go to the very tip top of Granite Mountain, but it does go to an area called Granite Mountain Vista, which is a wonderful area where you can relax, you can take your pack off, and again, you can just enjoy these views. You know, that's kind of like one of the main things, right, is when you're doing these long hikes where you're going pretty high up on the mountain, you know, the views that you get from those areas are just really what make it worth it. And of course, I love it because you get to understand the geography a little more.
Well, you're also understanding a very important piece of Arizona history, the Yarnell Hill fire.
Right.
The firefighters who were lost up there. There's a beautiful memorial there. And just, it kind of takes you, that path kind of takes you through what they went through. And I think it's very interesting to see it.
Yeah, that area is really awesome. There's a state park there called the Granite Mountain Hot Shots Park, which has a trail, which, has the memorials for all the wildland firefighters there. And that one is a really great one to go check out and just see, kind of feel what they did.
They're not together at all. Like,
what do you mean?
The first one you were talking about?
Oh, yeah, the first two, they're not together, but it's another option in that overall area of where we're memorializing those firefighters and in a part of the state or in a place that they obviously loved, right? If they're wildland firefighters, like they're loving the outdoors in Arizona, and of course they're wanting to protect it.
People in the chat right now are talking about, we had Dr. Sky on talking about the meteor shower. So they're talking about some of their favorite places to go watch the meteor shower, which is going to happen late tonight. I think he said right after midnight. If you look to the southeast, I was like,
or just wake up early.
I'll be sound asleep.
That's like, Ty, that's not you.
No, it is not me. I love my Z's. I'm not waking up for that. But if you look to the southeast, so a lot of people are chiming in about where is the best place. And they were saying maybe Canyon Lake. You can go out there. Some of the darker sky areas to see this.
That's, the logic tells you to get to a place where you can park safely, and you have dark skies. And of course, that's a great area. Some of our state parks also have dark sky parties, or will allow you to stay after dark to do sky viewing. I believe Lost Dutchman does that. Also,
cool.
East Valley.
Linda says she loves Granite Mountain and also enjoys Mount Graham near Safford in Graham County.
I've never been over there.
I haven't been over there either. There's so many.
There's a ton.
I know we contend with the heat and the triple digits, but 9 months out of the year,
it's not bad.
In the high, we're so blessed to have a little bit of everything.
We definitely are. And what I always would say to people is that if you really want to hike, you really want to get outdoors, and you're in southern or central Arizona, if you're doing it during this time of year or the next few months, you have to get out basically at daybreak. Start your hike as early in the morning as possible and be done no later than 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Bring appropriate water, appropriate
20 seconds left, Josh. How can people kind of get a little, you guys have such a wealth of information on your website. What is that?
So our website is visitarizona.com, and we have a ton of options for things to do. And even if you go on one of these hikes, you can also explore the area around it as well.
So
And so, we invite people from other states and other countries.
Bye.
Invite Arizona
Des
too.
and Ron are coming in. Oh my God. No more.
It's 11:30, and Fox 10 Talks just keeps rolling on here on July the 30th. And Des,
yes,
we had a whole hour, and now we have another half hour right through till noon.
Look at that. Back
Look
again.
at this. Instead of you and me for 30 minutes, now it's a full 90 today,
Look
and the
at that.
audience
I
is
got
going
lucky
to love
today.
it.
Yeah.
Let's just see what's happening in the chat. We look up, we have a big monitor here where we can see exactly what you guys are talking about.
Our beautiful state.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think what they were just talking about, maybe some hikes or good spots to visit.
Okay, yes.
And
right.
then we had Dr. Sky on earlier this morning on the show.
Yeah.
And he was saying there's a good meteor shower coming
Ooh,
tonight.
I like it.
And I believe he said the best time to view it around midnight or a little after. Yeah. You want the sky to be at its darkest.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, we have... I don't know if we actually have the VO for it anymore of IHOP. You guys let me know if you can find that. It's probably somewhere in this system. But we thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about this story about the $100 pancakes. Now, I don't think they're actually going to... So here's the thing. IHOP is introducing Dubai chocolate pancakes, which I love IHOP, but I love IHOP because they're not fancy. You know, and their menu prices have gone up ever since the pandemic and since inflation. But they say it features a Madagascar vanilla whipped cream, a whole Dubai chocolate bar, edible gold flakes and gold glitter. And Lux Dubai says it's worth over $100, but I'm trying to see what they're actually going to.
I don't need to eat my gold. I'd rather wear it.
Right?
That's just me.
But they have cooked up some limited edition stacks inspired by the whole Dubai chocolate thing, which is basically they fill them with pistachios and some Middle Eastern dessert treats.
Oh, the Dubai chocolate is great.
Oh, you've actually had some.
Oh, yeah. It's delicious.
Okay.
Yeah. Really good. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I get some of it. Sometimes it looks a little weird. It can be, gooey, and you wonder what that might taste like. But it was, like you mentioned, it's nutty. It's really, it's delicious.
Okay, so if I'm reading this story correctly, guests can order the quote $100 pancake for $13.
Oh,
while supplies
so it's not
last.
$100.
Yeah. Well, it's a marketing thing. I remember Carl's Jr., this is going to crack you up, Des. About 20 years ago, they had a marketing campaign where they were advertising the $6 burger, and it was $2.95. And people all laughed. They're like burgers will ever be $6. Hello, welcome to 2025.
Welcome to the year
$6 or $7. Although I was in In-N-Out yesterday, and you can still get a double there for $5.60. So good for them.
Okay,
but see, now that's considered a deal.
Yeah.
Back.
Hey, McDonald's is still rocking with their $5 meal deal.
Okay.
I think that's probably as good as we're going to get.
Anyway, all right. So that's one more thing to add to your palate if you are going to be going to IHOP anytime soon.
Oh, and real quick, that Dubai chocolate, I was trying to find, I did a story with the Candy and Chocolate Company in Phoenix. Their Dubai chocolate is great. Go check them out.
Okay. Hey, coming up here in about 90 seconds, we have a Top Valley doctor to talk about a form of cancer that has really been in the news this week, and I think we're all going to learn a lot. But before we do, one other interesting study, Des, that I know you picked up on when we were talking about it earlier this morning on TV is the amount of drinking that is being done by older Americans is causing a real uptick in liver disease and the risk of developing serious liver disease, which you don't want to see happen. According to this, adults over the age of 45, people living in poverty, and more women are making up this higher share than what we used to see of hard drinkers. People who are doing, for women, 8 to 10 to 12 drinks a week. For guys, more like 15 to 18 drinks a week. and it's really raising some alarm bells.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's shocking that the correlation between the two. Obviously, the more you drink, you're increasing your risk.
Yeah.
But it was just startling to see, you know, you can really make an impact on your health by the choices you make on a daily basis.
Right.
Even food, you know, even what we're eating. But I just found that fascinating. And I'm not much of a drinker, and neither are you. So I said, we're going to live forever without liver disease.
Yeah. Now, the stress of the jobs that we have, that might cut our lifespan a little bit.
Yeah. And that's why we don't drink, because we're trying to, you know, balance it out.
Right.
The stress from the job, we can't kill ourselves with drinking.
Yeah, that's for sure. But the story that has attracted so much attention this week has to do with the one and only Deion Sanders. Now, he had a big news conference earlier this week, and a lot of people have been talking about it ever since. And so we've been brainstorming with Dave, our executive producer, saying, look, get us the best doc you can possibly find here in the Valley when it comes to oncology. And let's talk about bladder cancer. I mean, Deion Sanders had to make the decision once he was diagnosed with bladder cancer on how to move forward with the rest of his life. He's battled a bunch of health issues, and he actually said that this was his 14th surgery. The poor guy. I mean, he's really been dealing with a lot over the years, but we did manage to bring you, and we're going to bring him on right now, Alex Bowman, who is a medical oncology expert here in the Valley, to talk a little bit about bladder cancer and, you know, how concerned we should be. And maybe frequently, Doc, I think, you know, when there's a very high profile case, it does raise awareness and maybe gets people a little more interested in making a few lifestyle changes. What do you say?
Well, absolutely. And, you know, it certainly affords the opportunity to provide some education and just kind of raise awareness of it as well.
Okay, so what would you say are let's get right into it. What are some of the symptoms of bladder cancer as opposed to all these other cancers that I think maybe people worry about more? We always worry about the big ones like lung cancer and colon cancer and, of course, pancreatic cancer and breast cancer. But for this one, what are the telltale signs?
So for the most part, the most common presenting symptom is blood in the urine. That can be either blood you see or blood that gets picked up on a urine analysis as microscopic. You know, symptoms with changes in voiding, burning with urination, frequency, you know, pain with urination, things like that should also be brought to your provider's attention.
But how do you know? I mean, so burning urination. I can only speak for the men in the audience. That could happen on a very random basis, almost on any given day. How do you hone in to make sure you're making the right decisions?
It absolutely can. And in fact, most of these symptoms are fairly nonspecific. So certainly, you know, if you see a little blood in your urine, that doesn't necessarily mean there's a big problem. But it's the kind of thing that should probably be, you know, brought up with your provider. And typically what will happen is they'll send you to see a urologist. Most commonly, they will do a procedure called a cystoscopy, where they actually look in the bladder with a little camera. And if they see any abnormalities in the lining of the bladder, they can take biopsies or in some cases set you up for procedures that actually remove or scrape out tumors if those are present.
And it sounds like those symptoms could be similar or related to even kidney stones, right? But obviously, if you have symptoms like that, you definitely want to check with a healthcare professional. So, I mean, what causes bladder cancer? Is it something is it what we're eating? Is it what we're drinking? Or there's no answer to that?
There are a few things that we know are associated with it. So cigarette smoking or smoking in general does increase your risk of cancer in the bladder.
So not just lung
there
cancer.
Are certain industrial exposures, chemicals that for the most part folks don't get exposed to as much as they used to that are associated with it. A large majority of the patients we see with bladder cancer don't really have any necessary risk factors for it. It's just one of those things that happens, unfortunately.
I don't know if Deion Sanders actually spoke in enough depth for us to learn, but how common is the treatment to get to the point where you would actually have your bladder removed and have, I guess in many cases, you have to get an exterior bag attached to your body, correct?
That's correct. So his is I was kind of looking at what information was released about it, and his case was a little bit unique. So he was diagnosed with what's called non-muscle invasive or superficial bladder cancer. So that's cancer that's in the lining of the bladder but hasn't gone deeper into the muscle layers. In many cases, we will treat that just by kind of scraping it out and then using either chemotherapy or immunotherapies that are instilled into the bladder as a way to treat that. And that is often effective, although sometimes it doesn't work completely, and we end up needing to ultimately remove the bladder or go on to more significant treatments. In his case, it seems like the particular subtype may have been a little bit more aggressive than average. And that may have played a role in the decision to move directly to surgery to remove the bladder. It sounds like also his schedule, he didn't want to be doing the kind of, you have to do weekly treatments for a little while and then monthly treatments for a little while. He didn't want to have to go through all of that. And so the most straightforward way is just take out the bladder, then you don't have to worry about that. It's probably also the most definitive from a cure standpoint in patients with a kind of a more aggressive type.
Right. And according to some reports that we have here at Fox News, I mean, that what he had, doctors said there was a high rate of reoccurrence and progression, and we're talking treatments over 3.5 years. So that's a big commitment, right? To decide to go that route, undergo 3 years of continuous treatment, but also a really difficult decision there to remove your bladder. I mean, what would life even be like for a patient who has to make a decision like that?
It depends a little bit on what type of surgery is done exactly. So he had what's called a neobladder, which is where they take a small portion of the small intestine, kind of create an artificial bladder out of that. And so everything is still on the inside. You urinate more or less normally, although you don't have really as much control or sensation when you need to urinate. And some folks still need to use kind of catheters on occasion if they're not emptying their bladder well.
Well, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, we do have to have a break. If it's okay, we'll hold you over. We got a 2-minute break, and you can wrap up with a little bit more just in terms of treatment options for people and lifestyle choices they can make. So, Doc, if you don't mind, hold 2 minutes, and we'll be right back.
Sure.
And we welcome you back here at 11:45. We're going straight up till noon. And we did decide we're going to do mystery cams. So, Des, I'm just taking a peek. What a beautiful little river scene right there. Look at those houses across from the high rise.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I don't know where this would be. What's your guess?
Somewhere, I'm thinking somewhere in the south. Or maybe in the lower Midwest. What?
Any guesses from our chat here? I wonder what folks are thinking on this one.
I wonder if you guys have any guesses, let us go. I think I'm going to just go ahead and guess, Des, and I am going to say that is in the great state of North Carolina. How about you?
Okay, I'll go South Carolina.
Okay, we got a North Carolina, we got a South Carolina, and here she comes with the answer.
Oh my! This is where my dad was born,
Where's
Augusta,
that?
Georgia.
Oh, is that Augusta?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice town, that's for sure. But good luck driving around and trying to see.
That's my
What's
husband's middle name too, Augusta.
Oh, well, good luck driving around and trying to see the Augusta National Golf Course. I did that, and it's like trying to drive around.
Impossible or something?
It's like trying to drive around the outside of Disneyland.
Oh,
you know how
really?
You can't.
You
ever
can't.
tried to drive around the whole exterior of Disneyland? You
Yeah,
can't
no.
see anything except the Matterhorn. Anyway, all right, let's go back to Dr. Bowman here. We did want to wrap up this conversation with him. Doc, what makes a difference between somebody being able to have that surgery like Deion had, where you can almost like recreate the bladder inside versus having to go with a bag the rest of your life?
It depends on a couple of factors, but the other option is what's called an ileal conduit, which is where they take a small portion of intestine and route that out to a bag on the outside, kind of similar to a colostomy. In a lot of patients, that's actually an easier surgery to do. There's a couple of hours shorter anesthesia time with the ileal conduit. It's probably a more straightforward appliance to use. There's kind of less of a learning curve in the beginning. So, especially for a younger, fitter patient who's kind of really interested in kind of having as normal, quality of life as possible, the neobladder is definitely an option, but it's typically a little bit more work, especially in the beginning. The ileal conduit's a good option for folks who maybe they're not as ideal surgical candidates. You want to minimize their anesthesia time a little bit and just kind of make things a little bit more straightforward.
Wow, Dr. Bowman, I'm just so impressed that, I shouldn't be, right? It's like we can do just about anything these days, but to be able to have an artificial bladder, that's just, wow, impressive.
It really is. Hey, thanks for your time and thanks for your input. And we all know we need to quit smoking. And then what other choices, just real quick, lifestyle-wise?
As far as bladder is concerned, there's nothing else really specific for it. Just eat healthy, exercise, anything that makes you healthier is good in the long run. So just all the stuff that we all know we should do, but sometimes it's just hard to get up and do it.
Right.
Thank you, Dr. Bowman, with MD Anderson and the Banner. They do a great job there, that's for sure. All right, Des, one of the stories that I know attracted your attention today has to do with this new Scream Club.
Yeah.
In Chicago. Ready? Okay, let me see. I think we actually have them screaming.
Well,
Here's
you got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, and hear it.
2, 1.
We should have warned you to turn your TV volume down.
Yeah, hopefully you didn't have us turned all the way up.
Okay. So dozens of screamers gather in the early morning, whether they just have stuff they need to get off their chest, whether it was a bad day at work or they're dealing with something longer term or it's something going on in a relationship or with the family. They do it every Sunday morning right on the edge of Lake Michigan in Chicago.
I just love that they created a group for this.
Right?
But I think the person leading the group also says, he would go by himself and then realize, you know what, other people need support in their own emotional journey, and he found that this was actually beneficial for people. So that's, really interesting. Ron, you seem like a pretty calm, cool, collected.
Trying.
All the time.
Trying.
Do you ever scream for stress relief?
No, but I was thinking about, so how do I, because we are in high stress jobs.
Yeah, how do you handle
How
stress?
do you de-stress? And because I live quite a ways out, I live way out on the far end, the east part of the valley, I put on an audiobook and I totally forget kind of where I am and what I'm doing. And I've been listening to War and Remembrance, which is a 55-hour-long audiobook.
Wow. How many hours are you in?
I'm about 53. It's almost done.
My.
But it's so powerful. I can't wait to get back in the car
To
and
finish?
sort of be time transported
Mhm.
to the 1940s. It's hard to listen to. It is a tough story to listen to, but I mean, I think it's historically speaking one of the best.
Wow.
So, how about you? How do you de-stress?
I've screamed before.
Okay.
It is helpful.
Uh-huh.
I try not to do that too often, but much more, I don't know, maybe simple than even you're just, I like to work out.
Yeah.
That's hit or miss these days with 4
Sure.
kids, and I'm trying to find the journey back
Yeah.
to myself and, getting back into being fit again. But I love working out.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my go-to for stress relief.
If you guys in the chat have anything you want to tell us about how you do
How do you
de-stressing,
de-stress?
let us know. But one of the things I think a lot of people do is they'll just plop down on the couch and watch maybe their favorite, network show
That works
or a
too. Like
streaming
just
show.
Yeah, binging a good TV show, one that you don't have to think about.
How about this
Turn the
one
brain
right
off.
here, for example? Happy Gilmore 2 is apparently setting records with Netflix. Its U.S. opening weekend saw 46 million views, even at the same time that the original Happy Gilmore is now number 3 on Netflix. And so I think Hollywood has shown, Des, time and time again, that you can revisit it and people are interested.
Yeah, I think so. And now, I mean, it's interesting that, and it's been how many years since the first one came out?
Gosh,
so now
20?
the original
Did you
Happy
say
Gilmore,
20? I don't know.
Yeah, Happy. I think it's number 3 on the top 10
Yep,
Netflix
yep.
now. So
Uh-huh.
look at that, like both of his movies now getting all this traction. But yeah, it just goes to show that if you've got something good, you can recreate it. You're right, in the right way. But then to modernize it and all the cameos he has in the film, that's getting a lot of buzz and talk. I mean, we just saw Ben Stiller there.
Mhm.
Who doesn't love Ben Stiller?
Yep.
Right?
And who
Come on.
doesn't love Adam Sandler?
I know.
And get this.
Like, he's just wild.
All right, so we're showing it to you because now the whole country's talking about the fact that it just zoomed right to number 1.
Yeah.
And then Dave actually went in and did. Here he is on the Dave. Oh wait, no.
No, he
he's not
disappeared.
on
Oh,
the
no, he
Dave cam.
vanished. He's in the director's chair
Oh,
right now.
okay. Well, he's in a chair we can't quite show you.
Yeah.
Very top secret. But Dave just said it's actually been close to 30 years, Des.
30
since
years.
29 to be exact, since the original Happy Gilmore.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
yeah,
couple-
go check it out.
Yeah, there you go. And a couple of more stories here before we got to wrap it up and hand it back over to Ty and Anita for Fox 10 News. Okay, ready? So here we go. Let's just watch what's happening. Oh, well, now hold on. She threw the sandal at the gator. Maybe tried to get him to go away. And he's like, fine, lady, I'll just bite it. And I'll get right back in the water now that I've got my loot.
I'm not all for this, though. First of all,
Yeah.
why are you throwing shoes at the gator?
Yeah.
Or what is it?
Oh, the gator was thinking about eating those. What were those little animals that were off on the side?
Well,
right
woman,
there?
I mean, you're lucky it took your shoe and didn't turn around and come get you
Oh, I
for messing
know.
with it.
Really?
But James, our
True.
floor director
Oh.
this morning, he was so funny. He goes, look at that croc. Stole the croc.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
But-
so this must have been like early morning because it looked like deer that were
Mhm.
out just kind of looking around. Did it ever say?
And the deer
of course
just stand
it's-
there looking at it.
I
Like,
know.
that's a predator. Do you guys not understand that?
Right?
Back away.
Yeah, I guarantee you that gator was thinking, which one of those is going to be lunch?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So in the one, the lady did lose her sandal.
Looks like maybe it's a baby, too, because it's kind of small.
Yeah, true.
Maybe it's a young one.
But she took the video. She says, don't throw shoes at animals or karma will get you. Well, I guess so. I mean, you lost your sandal. But on the other hand, you saved all those deer.
Yeah. And you're lucky you didn't lose a foot or
Right?
a hand.
Yeah.
I
for
don't
sure.
know. I wouldn't have gotten that close.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, there you go. And I guess all's well that ends well. The deer were The deer
were
all
safe.
survived.
She was safe, and the croc won a croc.
Yeah.
I mean,
any deer that I've ever seen in the wild are very skittish. I'm
That's what I'm
amazed
saying.
that
That's
they
why it
were
was
just
odd.
standing there staring
they were watching
at the
her.
gator.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
So how about one more story from the animal world?
Okay.
This is video that's been around now for a day or two, and it has to do with, I'm going to kind of let you tell the story, Des, but there's a guy, he's driving is it a truck, I think?
Yeah.
Driving his truck somewhere in the Midwest, and he's looking at this bird, and the bird has a fish in its claws.
He's enjoying the
correct?
morning sky, and he's just driving, and he's like, wow, I noticed a bald eagle, and the eagle has a fish in its talons.
And the
good for that
question-
eagle. He's getting a really good breakfast.
Yeah.
And the eagle flies out of view. He thinks nothing of it. He
Right.
gets home, pulls
Sure.
into his driveway, and finds that he caught the fish with his bumper.
Look, there's Albert right there, and this is a fishtail that has the proof in the pudding because he convinced somebody at home to go ahead and take a photo. That's amazing.
Isn't that funny?
Somehow, we don't know if it was like on a local street or on a highway or whatever, but the eagle just happened to drop it, and it ends up right there on the front grill of his truck.
Like, what are the odds of that?
I know.
You know, getting struck by
Correct.
lightning is probably very rare.
Yes.
Catching a fish in the bumper of your truck,
Yeah.
probably also rare.
Oh, Albert's got a great fish story to share, that's for sure. Okay, so...
Are you a fisherman?
No, I did a little bit of fishing when my sister and her husband lived in Montana. He was a big fisherman, and we would blow up a raft, and we'd get on the Clark Fork, which is this beautiful river that goes through western Montana, and we would just kind of fish as we went down the river.
Oh.
But then when they moved out of Missoula, we kind of stopped doing
fishing.
it. So
as
how
much.
about you?
Okay.
Any
I've never
fishermen
been
in
fishing.
your family? Really?
No.
Yeah.
No, my dad does not fish.
Yeah.
I've never been fishing.
And
so.
David's not a fisherman either.
David likes to fish. He doesn't
Okay.
fish much,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I should probably book him a fishing trip one of these days.
I feel like
Teach
we
me
learned
thing or
a
two.
lot in this half hour, and we're so grateful that you guys hang with us. We have a lot of people in the 2-hour club. They start with us right at 10.
Yes. I mean, Husky Mom is still around.
Uh-huh.
Charles is still around.
Frankie D.
Yeah.
Jay Wright.
A little philosophy in the chat.
Oh, it's so great. Okay, so
Thanks,
thanks
guys.
everybody for spending some time with us. We'll be back tomorrow with more of Fox 10 Talks. Des, time to say our goodbyes.
Yes, goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow.